Hey, what's up guys, I'm Styler, and in this video I'm going to review the LEAGOO S8 in blue. This video is based on my personal opinion and experience, while other aspects about this phone is something you simply need to form your own opinion about. If you're interested in this phone, remember to check the video description for more info and a link. So without any further ado, let's start the video. The LEAGOO S8 follows the new trend and comes with a design very close to the Galaxy S8. But compared to other Chinese copycats that we lately have seen, this one here is more compact in the hand. It features a 5.7 inch 18:9 sharp HD Plus display with 2.5D curved front glass, which means that the display itself doesn't curve, only the glass on top does. Even though it looks like a Galaxy S8, the hardware is of course nowhere near a real flagship, but for the price this is still a pretty nice phone with a stunning look. Especially because of the nice blue back, which is very shiny but unfortunately just made of plastic. With the phone you get all the usual stuff, like a wall charger with 5V 2A that does fast charge the phone, a flat standard micro USB cable, so here no Type-C, a nice clear soft silicone cover so you don't scratch the back, some cheap white earphones and a SIM tray pin, and last a typical quick start guide in many different languages. So here you see the phone with the clear silicone cover attached. There are some cutouts for the speaker and micro USB port, but it does add some extra thickness to the phone. So we have the Mediatek 6750T, which is an octa-core CPU clocked at 1.5 GHz, a non-removable 2940 mAh battery. We also have 3 GB of RAM and 32 GB of internal storage. Out of this internal storage we have around 23 GB left, and the speed of this is what I would call just average. But you also have the option to install a micro SD card, which then will take up one of the SIM slots. Supported is 1 nano and 1 micro SIM. The phone feels good in the hand, and the back looks great, especially in this metallic blue color, which is very reflective, but unfortunately also a fingerprint magnet. The back is just made of plastic and can over time get small scratches, but if you heat it up it is possible to remove and replace if needed. In the top we have a dual LED flash, which is medium strong, a 360-degree fingerprint sensor, and a Sony IMX258 dual rear camera setup with a 13 megapixel supported by a secondary 2 megapixel sensor. And both cameras does in fact work. I will test that later in the video. On the front top we find an OmniVision dual camera with an 8 plus 2 megapixel sensor and support for face beauty, HDR and blur mode. And all to the right a LED flash that close up does in fact help in surroundings with low light. The ear speaker which delivers average sound, light and proximity sensor, and last a multicolored notification LED. The 18:9 LCD display from Sharp is on 5.7 inch with the resolution of 1440 by 720 pixels, also known as HD+. The phone doesn't feature any capacitive hardware buttons, so for the navigation you in the bottom find some standard on-screen buttons which also can be hidden. The front LED flash is nice to have, and close up it does help. It has support for zoom, face detection, face beauty and color filters. Regarding the front dual camera setup, this is real as one is for the black and white mono mode while the other one is for normal color pictures. However, the blur mode is like on many other phones in this price range just a gimmick, as it doesn't recognize objects. The quality of the front camera is okay for funny selfies. Under good lighting conditions it can shoot some okay pictures, while in low light the detail would be much lower and pictures get kind of grainy. The 5.7 inch display is what I would call average. The viewing angles are good, sharpness is okay and the display colors are kind of warm. The side bezels are thin, however the brightness could be a lot higher and one of my main complaints. It is not as brilliant as seen on some of my other budget phones which are in the same price class. Regarding the screen sensitivity, I haven't experienced any ghost touches. The touch panel is smooth and can register up to 5 touches at the same time, but the sensitivity could be higher and better optimized, as I sometimes need to press extra before something happens. In the phone settings we only find some very few special features. We have support for Wi-Fi calling, the notification LED can be turned on or off, you can swap the on-screen back and recent buttons, and that's basically it. The fingerprint sensor works okay. It is a bit deeper into the phone and there's a small edge around it that you can feel with your finger. However, the wake and unlock speed is kind of slow, sometimes 1 to 1.5 seconds before something happens. So it's not the fastest, but the accuracy is still okay. The phone features a real 3.5mm headphone jack, so that's nice to see, and it is probably because it's not using USB Type-C, but still the normal micro USB port. The phone is 9mm thick in the bottom, so it's not the slimmest, but the heavy metal frame feels like solid quality. The power button and the volume keys are placed on the right side. They are also made of metal. They do rattle a little bit if you shake the phone heavy, but are still responsive and tactile. In the bottom we find a single speaker, a microphone and a micro USB port. The speaker is loud but sounds flat with no bass, and a very typical cheap Chinese speaker. The phone supports USB on the go. The included wall charger is only on 5V 2A, which is not a real fast charger, but still I managed to charge 35% in about 30 minutes, while a full charge took about 1.5 hours. The built-in non-removable 2940 mAh battery gives average battery life, and the screen on time is on 5 to 5.5 hours, so one full day is possible with light usage, but it is for sure not a phone for heavy users. Here you see some info from device info. You see that it uses a Sony and OmniVision camera sensor. In low light or night it is possible to shoot some decent pictures, but it is very often a hit or miss. If you shake too much it may turn out with less detail or blurred. The blur mode is not any better than seen on other cheap Chinese budget phones lately, but both rear cameras do actually work on this phone. If I cover the second lens on the back, I notice that one is in fact for the black and white mono pictures, while the first one is used for the pictures in color. In the settings we find support for RAW and electronic image stabilization. In video mode the quality is okay, but it is possible to hear an annoying clicking each time it uses the autofocus. But at least it doesn't hunt for autofocus all the time, so video footage is usable. Hey, this is Styler and this is a test. Regarding the GPS, the fix is fast and it has support for cloners. The signal reception is strong, but the accuracy could be a little bit better. As for the sensors, CPU set tells that this phone doesn't have that many working sensors, and a gyroscope test shows that there are no values. Other hardware apps tell that it has 12 sensors, but most of them seem to be fake and non-existent, which means that Compass or 360 Google Cardboard doesn't work at all, as you see here. Moving on to the performance. The CPU used in this phone is on the budget level, so the score is nothing special. In AnTuTu it scores close to 42,000, which is very normal for a Mediatek 6750T. However, 3D games like Asphalt 8 still runs good in high settings, with some frame drops here and there, but it's still fully playable. Regarding heating, while gaming it does very quick get warmer, but at least it still runs stable, so it's okay. Out of the box the phone is using Android 7.0 with OTA support and a security patch from November 2017. The launcher is called LEAGOO OS 4 and it's okay smooth. It supports scrolling effects, rescaling of the icons and themes. The Google Play Store is pre-installed together with LEAGOO's own app store that I haven't used at all, but besides of that it comes pretty clean with no bloatware. Multitasking, surfing and zooming in pictures work without any issues on this phone. In terms of connectivity, the call quality and signal reception was fine, and it can connect to 2G, 3G, 4G and WCDMA with dual slot 3G functionality. And of course we also have support for LTE band 20 and average dual band Wi-Fi with support for 2.4 and 5 GHz, where the download speed was on about 53 megabits but only when close to the router. As soon the distance got bigger, the speed did also go down very fast. With the latest YouTube app you can play videos smooth in 720p at 60 frames per second and also zoom in all normal videos, so you can use that full 18:9 display. Now to my final conclusion. The LEAGOO S8 is a solid and nice looking phone. The highlights are definitely the design, form factor and that it has an 18:9 display with relative thin side bezels. The 3D gaming performance is good and the dual cameras are in fact real. What I didn't like was the missing sensors. Gyroscope and compass didn't work at all for me. The display brightness could be higher and more brilliant to look at. The blur mode for both rear and front didn't impress me at all, and the accuracy for the GPS could be improved a lot. That being said, if you want a compact budget phone with some average hardware inside that looks like a Galaxy S8, then this could be something for you. But if you want a flagship device with super bright display, good loudspeaker, reliable GPS and a fast fingerprint scanner, then I wouldn't recommend this phone for you. Bottom line is that you here pay more for the fancy look and design than for the hardware inside. The phone can be used as daily driver with no bigger issues, but I would probably rather spend some more and get a better model. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching this video and I hope to see you in my next one.